Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Underexposed, our weekly macro show, hitting all of the biggest topics and trends impacting crypto and broader Web3. Today is Tuesday, May 12th. Folks, stocks continue to print new all-time highs again yesterday while the memory sector booms. Meanwhile, Saylor's talk of selling Bitcoin and Tom Lee's slowing down has seemingly cooled the crypto rally. Is crypto squarely the second fiddle in markets right now, or is it a beach ball being held underwater? We're going to talk about it on today's show, along with a lot more. I'm your host, Tyler D. I've got Deez in the house with me. Deez, Jim, how you doing?
Yeah, I was doing really good until I sat down 5 minutes before we started the show and looked at the charts. And now I'm doing just okay.
Well, I was doing well until I logged on today and saw Beeple packs were selling for $500 on eBay, and I somehow missed the entire movement. So we'll talk about that and more. Yeah, some violent action out there on Tuesday. While stocks have been pumping, they are down 2% and actively falling today after CPI. So we'll talk about that and a whole lot more on today's show. So what are we going to get into? We're going to talk some macro, some memory stocks. Saylor talking about selling. People don't like that. Tom Lee's pausing. People don't like that either. New exploit risks. AI creating zero-day exploits. We don't like that. Beeple cards. We do like those. We're going to talk about what we missed there and what our targets are, what we're trading. Hoffman selling punks. Is it a bottom sign for punks and a top sign for Zeke? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. A couple of housekeeping items. We are live on Kick and X. As always, make sure to give it a follow. Maybe give it a retweet. Get some other folks in the stream with us here live this afternoon. No EAT giveaways today. Those are on hold. We have a huge botting problem with EAT. So we got to get that solved. And once that is solved, we will get those back going again. You'll have to watch the show just for its content today instead of for prizes. And before we get started, as always, a quick disclosure. The opinions expressed on this podcast are those of the speakers and do not reflect the views or opinions of any organizations they are associated with. We are here to share insights, provoke thought, and maybe even start some debate, but this is not, I repeat, not financial advice. While we talk about markets, investments, and trends, remember, your financial decisions should be made with the help of your own research or with advice from a licensed professional. All right, well, let's get into it. I'll pull up the screen share for those who are in the stream alongside us right now. I'll quickly go through the boards. Crypto red today and red on the week. Yeah, Bitcoin down 1.5%, 80,300. ETH down 5% now on the week, 2260. Solana up 10%. How about that? Solana leading the way at 94. Finally broke through that 85 level. Hype down 9% at 40.30 here on the week. Broader market. So stocks did hit an all-time high again yesterday, but a hot CPI print this morning. Inflation is high and wages are down. Markets have not liked that. NASDAQ down 1.5% here so far today. But kind of zoomed out, the biggest trend of the past week is everyone's getting hilariously rich on memory stocks, and you're not. Unless you're in this trade. We're just going to take a look at some of these charts. Micron, up 150% year to date. Basically the entire move happening over the last 5 or 6 weeks. Jumped, again, massively last week. Companies like SanDisk up 400% year to date. And these are not the only ones. The memory stock boom tied to the AI infrastructure demand and CapEx. There's also some supply chain constraints in here. Demand significantly outpacing supply. And these supply shortages and high prices are just causing these companies to boom. My first question for you, Deez, is are you underexposed to memory stocks, or are you getting hilariously rich alongside the holders?
You already know the answer. I am solely exposed through index funds, so no direct exposure, which means no hilariously richness. But index funds are still up pretty nice this year, so I'm not going to complain too much. But this does not seem like the time to just looking at charts and being around markets, now is not the time I want to blast into these. Like, yeah, they're down 8-10% today. But I'm not buying this dip.
That is the thing. It's like if you're still memory stock lined, it's hard to pile in here after these moves, right? Even if you're bullish on AI and CapEx.
Hey, you know what stock? I would be looking at the peptide stuff, dude. Lilly's up 2.5% today. You know, there's other stuff. I'm not buying memory. If I'm buying individual stock, I'm still looking at the peptides over the memory stuff.
Well, it's funny you bring that up.
Hims is down. Yeah, that's the funny
Hims.
one.
Oh no.
It's yeah.
I may have made a
The dip
mistake
to buy it.
on this one. So I talked myself into making a rare options trade
On Hims.
on Hims. And
Oh,
little YOLO options gamble. Coming after, I don't know if you saw like JP Morgan had shared some data, how they effectively feel like target audience is 120 million people. Hims is at 2.5 million. They've got so much room to expand. And I let it get to me a little bit, along with just the broader peptide virality meme stock thesis there. Without looking at and evaluating other factors in the trade, and they just totally whiffed on
not evaluating that it's at a 50p ratio or evaluating.
And they had like something like 600 million in revenue in Q1. That's just one quarter. I mean, that still is pretty dang strong, but it's a competitive space. Of course, Lilly may have just total control over Retatrutide, which is going to be a big one. But market did not like it. We'll see what happens from him. I might be underwater on that options trade. I am also memory stock lined. I do not hold any of these. It's been tough to watch. Like I will say, it's been hard to log on and check the Hyperliquid board every day, and just seeing these stocks up like 15 to 20% and outpacing our alts. It's not like they're outpacing majors. They're outpacing even the biggest crypto alts.
It's tough because like if you get into any of these trades, I feel like they're, less than 4-week trades where you get in it and you want to try to catch whatever move you're currently in and then cut it before that move is breaking down. So it's like with that lens, it's just hard to want to buy now. It's like the time to buy was in April after they had that brief consolidation phase and broke out. And then it's like, okay, well, once it breaks out of the consolidation, then that's a good time to buy. But like, you don't really want to buy the parabolic move up on these charts, at least in my head. I mean, yeah, can they double again? Maybe they can. But I just like, as a trader with some type of system, not the best system, but just like pattern recognition, it's just not the spot that I want to buy into.
Yeah, totally. It also depends. Like, are you going into this as a trade on Hyperliquid with leverage, or are you looking at this as a long-term investment?
With leverage and funding. And then if you're holding something that has significant funding for, weeks at a time, what is your upside versus if you just bought spot elsewhere? Because the funding on some of these, when you look, is like still kind of pretty high.
Wow, I mean, look at this volume on Micron, 128 million, only behind oil and the indices.
Yeah, I mean, SanDisk is right under it.
Right there at 100 million. Wow. So this is doing some serious volume on Hyperliquid, but yeah, some pretty red candles out there today. What is the funding? 18% on Micron. What does it look like on SanDisk? Yeah. A little bit lower.
It's not as bad. Yeah, it's not as bad. Sure, I mean, it's not like oil right now, which is like negative 400% or something. I'm sure there's some arbitragers who are doing something there, but yeah,
negative 350% funding on
I mean, there's been times where I look at buying XYZ 100 and the annualized funding is like 30+%. It's like, okay, well, if I'm owning like an index fund, I don't really want to be paying 30% annualized to hold that position.
And it really makes it tricky to hold these for any longer than.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Peter normally talks about is the sharpest when you get a good funding rate, and you want to like do the delta neutral thing and just make free money essentially. Like it's smart, but we don't do that here. We're too midwit or low IQ.
Yeah, staying far away from that strategy regardless of market conditions.
I'll have a perfect strategy and then just wake up one day and be like, wait, where did the money go? Oh, it got liquidated. Oh yeah, it was not a perfect strategy. Okay.
Yeah, these really are some nasty red candles. I ain't gone through this.
I know, that's what 5 minutes before the show, I like do my scroll through TradingView and Dex Screener, and was just not prepared to see stuff down. I guess I did miss that there was CPI today. That's like new dad life, head in the clouds. Oh shit. But I feel like if it's a CPI dump, we kind of, I don't say we forget about it, but like within a week yeah, it's like, yeah, shit's more expensive. Like I just spent $20 on food for myself at fucking Taco Bell. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm just not thinking about it correctly, but I think we'll get over it.
I'm aligned with you. I feel like isn't this one to just kind of shrug off? Like we all know that oil's been high. We all know gasoline's been high. Like this should not be a shock to anyone. I guess what the shock is, there was one surprise that average hourly wages went down this past month. So not only do you have inflation going up, but wages are going down, which I think is the first time that's happened in a while. So perhaps that's what's been driving it. I talked about this a little bit on FOMO Hour this morning, but the rate cut odds also did have a fairly substantial move. Odds of a hike now in 2026 up to 30%. Those were just 1% a month ago. And
yeah, that can do it. I didn't realize that changed so much.
A cut is off the table there. So that's driving some of the near-term action. I broadly do feel like if CPI is the true driver here, that it'll shrug off. And are we also just cooling because stocks are just on a massive heater and printing new all-time highs seemingly by the week, right? So you're going to have red days along with runs like this. Let's pull this up. I mean, basically since that March 30th bottom.
I mean, I'm still surprised how fast we recovered too. I just get kind of spooked sometimes when we recover so quickly. It was like a month, basically, like from March to the end of April, we just kind of fully recovered straight up. I don't know, like part of that just doesn't sit amazingly with me, but
it's almost too fast.
Yeah, like would you be surprised if the S&P is back to like 7K or like, 71? No, like it'd probably be healthier than just to keep going straight.
The question is, now this is a two-part, like pulling this back to crypto. So if the S&P goes down to 7K, what does that mean for crypto? And then my original question was going to be with like this memory stock boom, is having alternative sectors of speculation, is that a headwind for crypto and alts, as it's less attractive for the gains now compared to what other markets are? I'm curious if that thought ever crosses your head, or you see chatter about that.
Yeah, I definitely see chatter about it. I think for me, this market still feels like the only place where you can find like 100x shit, but you have to really be, deep in the trenches to find it. But like the 2 to 5x game feels completely different. Like if you're just looking for taking a bigger swing on something that is less risky with similar upside and just has a better risk reward profile, like it does kind of feel like you should be paying way more attention to not the crypto shit. Like just as sad as that is to say, that feels like the reality for now. I still feel like if you're trying to turn $1,000 into $100,000, crypto is still the best place for that, but you need to be like grinding your dick off 12 hours a day to find that one opportunity. And then you also need to be managing risk correctly so that you don't blow yourself up in the process. So yeah, I mean, for me, I don't feel like I have time or edge to really allocate effectively in individual stocks, even if I think that is where the best opportunity is. Like good friend of ours, Darren, he's been talking about this for like a year and a half now, I feel like, on Twitter, about rotating into these plays. And he said a lot of them, but like he does a ton of research, has really good theses, puts it all out in public. I like don't think about the market that way right now, and it's probably a big personal blind spot or like
Mhm.
a weak spot. But my options are like spend more time thinking about that or like hang out with the kid while she's a baby. And I just am at a place right now where I can take the trade off and know that like, yeah, the opportunity cost here. I'm just gonna like not perform ideally with my portfolio. I mean, I can perform ideally given my own constraints, but I'm not gonna like sink a ton of time into trying to learn a new ecosystem while I have the baby. Um, and
And
maybe
this
I should. Maybe I should be. Maybe I should just be doing both. Like, there's a very good argument for it. Um, but also just like owning index funds, you're also exposed to this stuff indirectly, but I mean, directly, but um, it's tough.
It's
Like,
tough to see it, but I'm also like not an expert in stock trading. I haven't really traded many individual stocks. So while yeah, it stinks to see like these memory stocks going absolutely parabolic.
like
Um,
in general, I'm of the mindset that parabolic markets in general are good for crypto. Like if a parabolic market is happening
mm,
outside of crypto and that, creates more wealth, like how in any way, what does that hurt crypto other than do we think crypto is so negatively biased that like capital is going to flee from crypto because they see all the generational wealth elsewhere and it's never going to come back? Or do you think it like ebb and flows back eventually? Because I feel like most people who trade this stuff, once they, and this could just be being completely biased, but like once you touch crypto, use all this shit, and then you go back, it feels kind of like you're going backwards. And like even if you leave for a little bit, like you still kind of have this place on the back of your mind thinking about like, oh, you know, Bitcoin looks appetizing here, even though it's not the shiniest thing that has the most attention. It's like I know that there is there's a lot of use behind this thing, and I don't know. I feel like people who use crypto, they don't leave crypto and think like, oh, that shit's dead forever. It's more like, oh, it's dead for now, but like I'm always going to keep my eye on it because I know that that's the only place where like this shit can happen.
I agree, and there's no real signs of exodus right now. In fact, the opposite. Like the ETFs have just been printing inflows week over week, so capital is coming, and yeah, just a potential larger rotation from memory stocks from other sectors when they do indeed cool down. That actually is a part of my bull case. Um, I think we're definitely in a rotation trade market right now. And I think there will become a point in time where it's like, oh, crypto looks good. And it actually hasn't rallied nearly as fiercely as these other sectors. While they cool off, do we catch the bid? And I think there's other catalysts tied to that, like the Clarity Act potentially passing. There's actually been a lot of movement on that. Perhaps Stretch, if Stretch ever catches a bid. Again, that's a notable one. I want to talk about that a little bit. Saylor's doing his best to stop this Bitcoin rally. So last week came out and since it's Miami, kind of a minor comment said, yeah, we might sell some to inoculate the market. And then the CEO is coming out and saying, okay, we would sell for two reasons. One, to pay Stretch dividends, and for tax loss realization. And then Saylor just starts posting AI recap videos where he's rapping. I don't know if folks can hear this or not. Just watching the visual is enough.
What is this? He posted that this morning?
It's incredible. I
Well,
encourage
2 days
folks to
ago.
watch it. It's from a couple days ago. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been memed more than it has, with just all these strategy execs just dancing with their hands in the air. It's not real. It is AI generated, but Saylor still posted it. Um, and it's just funny. It's coming at a time where Stretch didn't reach par nearly as quickly as we thought it would. It finally did hit par yesterday with about 4 trading days before the dividend date this week. Hit 1,400 Bitcoin in volume yesterday. It looks like today is probably going to do more than that. It's done over 1,000 so far here today. But coming into this week, super zoomed in, I thought this was going to have a fairly large impact on Bitcoin. I thought this was actually going to push us to 84, 85 was kind of my near term target this week. based on this when we were 82 on Sunday. It's not going that way.
No.
So I don't really know what to make of it. And is Saylor has Saylor lost a bit of his mojo? I'm not sure if you've been following the conversation around him talking about selling for the first time.
Oh yeah, I think we mentioned it last week.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
We mentioned a little bit where we kind of thought the risk of Saylor blowing up was like, the most scary risk, I guess, with regarding to like, Bitcoin. And the idea of him just selling is like, well, they don't even need to blow up for them to still be a big risk. So I don't know. Had we all just assumed that he would just keep raising money and buying forever? I think that was kind of the assumption.
Yeah.
And that hopefully the price would go up so much that he could just keep raising and buying against it. But then like the price hasn't gone up so much and their average buy-in price is close to the current price. So yeah, I think it just creates another drag on Bitcoin. It's another potential dump catalyst, which is what it is. I mean, I think long term it's good. I think long term no one wants Michael Saylor to own multiple percents of fucking Bitcoin. I don't think anyone was buying Bitcoin 5+ years ago thinking like, oh, I can't wait for some dickhead that runs a public company to figure out a way to, buy up a bunch of Bitcoin. Like, I don't think that was in any of our theses. So I think long term it wouldn't be it would be nice to get him out, but like short term it's like, Jesus Christ, okay, just sell Bitcoin and buy more AI shit or index funds and just wait for this to inoculate itself. Wait for the vaccine.
Wait for the Saylor vaccine.
But in the other time it's like, am I going to sell my Bitcoin and buy more? No, like so I don't know. Maybe that's just me being a stupid idiot.
It's hard to sell. Maybe we see a little cool off here. Sure. I do still think grinding higher. Arthur Hayes' latest, I'm not sure if you saw this yet. He posted his latest blog. Got to take all his blogs with a grain of salt. He basically said bottoms in at 60K. Bitcoin thinks it's inevitably going back to all-time highs, pointing to more to government printing tied to the Iran war, tied to the AI capex boom, and spending in that infrastructure. And eventually hard assets will win tied to that. He is long hype Zeke and is going to do his bull thesis for near next week or next post coming out of that. So that's what he rattled off. I guess kind of in line with this, there's been this chatter. I think Thread Guy's been kind of running with this. Anson's been running with it a bit. That there are only like 5 coins in crypto to trade right now. If that's the case, what are the 5? I was trying to put together my list of 5.
Pod.
We'll talk about Pod. But I don't think it's quite in the top 5 just yet. Bitcoin is the consensus 5 Bitcoin hype, Zeke, VVV.
Okay. If that's all the consensus, like none of those are good buys right now. I mean, VVV, yeah, sure, but it's up 9x or fucking 10x from the bottom in February. Like, yeah, this looks like Micron or SanDisk right now. Like, it is almost filling up the ridiculous listing candle where the team just dumped on everybody and the price went from $20 to $4. So like, it's at the point right now where I wouldn't want to be buying it, but Zcash, you just had someone sell their quote unquote digital identity, who's a quote unquote big name in the space, to quote unquote buy Zcash at $600. That's a great top sign. Like, maybe this thing doesn't even hit 700 because everyone thinks it's going to 1,000. Hype, I mean, it just outperformed for the last, year to date, basically the last quarter, but you could also argue that it doesn't make a new all-time high and that it topped here at $45. So like, all these things that are consensus only things to trade are probably some of, in my mind, the worst risk reward things you can buy right now. That would be my hot take. Like, the consensus that these are all you can trade is actually like the consensus that you should probably fade those 5 things and look for better opportunities elsewhere.
I think I agree, unfortunately, because I have been adding to my Zeke position.
You want to know what's not consensus that I was looking at the other day, dude? The rect chart.
Oh,
That is one of the most not consensus things right now, and the price is not moving. I mean, I don't know if that's
Yeah.
bad or good, but, like, it's consolidating. Um, and that's something where, like, if it doubled, you wouldn't even barely notice it doubling on the fucking chart. Not saying to buy rack. I'm just saying, like,
Right.
I would not be blasting in the VVV, Zcash, the consensus stuff. And I say this as someone who my biggest bag is still hype. But like I think there is a good argument that 45 we're gonna stall out and we're gonna range between 40 and 30 for a little bit, or 40 and 35 or something. Like I wouldn't be that surprised. You can kind of see the momentum in the chart since the middle of April has kind of stalled off. Like we had a really nice move up, chop down, move up, chop down, move up, and now we haven't been able to crack a new higher high. So
I think the broader point that there's a huge difference between buying a chart like VVV
yeah,
and one
that's
month.
tough.
It's like when everyone is talking about it, are you late? I guess
Gotta have a little bit of foresight to think like, okay, well, what could everyone be talking about next?
yeah.
Like VVV, another one that's interesting. It maybe hasn't pumped as high as other ones, but we were talking about it last week. Is Ton, like the weekly chart? I mean, the daily looks over, like, but when you look at the weekly and you go back, it doesn't look terrible. Um, so like, I might look for something on Ton at like $2 if we get it. I think that's something interesting.
I'm really
Uh,
interested in Ton.
Like the chart still, like you zoom out like that, it looks like okay, there's an idea here that it can go up more. I still think the narrative around it's pretty good and unique. So I would be looking at something like that to buy a dip on rather than the consensus. Is Ton a consensus one though? Because like last week it did kind of feel like maybe it was entering the conversation, but then like I haven't seen people talk about it. How am I feeling about Zero? I sold mine in between this show and last show and am just kind of chilling on the sideline. I like that they finally took some ownership over the situation. I just think it took way too long, and I think ultimately in the short term it like damages their brand a little bit. In the long term, I don't know how much it matters, but I just risk reward wise, like I was gonna be happy buying Zero to $1.50 and selling it closer to $2, and like that type of gain I could probably just find on Ton with more upside and a better narrative. So for now, I'm just kind of chilling on layer zero. If it goes back down to like $1.20-ish, like I'll be interested again because we've talked about it so much around that point.
I've got a couple concerns. Let's talk about this a little bit. So I noticed this. I was looking at ETH Bitcoin just yesterday, and there's a pretty stark pivot point, and it basically happens here. April 17th, April 18th, really April 18th. And it's pretty much been down only since April 18th. And that's when Kelptow was. So basically,
that's interesting. I haven't even looked at that. Or that lines up freakishly.
Yeah, ETH Bitcoin ratio is down 10% and just in a straight line pretty much since Kelptow. And then now you've got Tom Lee pouring gas on the fire, saying he's slowing down, which no fault of his own. He already bought 4.3%.
Tom Lee did more than enough. Everyone should aspire to be Tom Lee. Okay, we can't get mad at Tom.
Yeah, this is all his fault. But then, just as I was thinking, like, man, okay, maybe DeFi is like in the clear. We haven't had any major exploits for a few days now. Like we're literally that zoomed in on DeFi exploits that if we don't have any every few days, it's a win. And then Google shared this threat intelligence report today. First known instance of a threat actor using an AI-developed zero-day exploit in the wild. They were proactively able to counter discover this and prevent the attack. But this is not great by any means. We've got folks using AI-developed zero-day exploits, and it's kind of hard to think DeFi's out of the woods by any means just yet. All tied back to the zero trading. The zero is in that bucket, right? and this is not a reflection on the team. I think the team's strong. I've talked to them, um, bullish on them and what they're doing, but it seems like there's some pretty strong headwinds with DeFi, with exploit risks, with Tom Lee and ETH. Like there's just a lot, and it just doesn't seem like now's the time. But I mean, maybe that the time that means it's the time to start looking for entries. But I don't like it right now.
No, and this is stuff that's like I don't know, this is like horror movie stuff to me. This is like you wake up and like somehow your wallet got exploited through some way that you had no idea. Like
Mhm.
it, it's like the paranoia of this is kind of always there. It doesn't go away. It's like a bad virus or something. Like you're always, I don't know, if you're like me, you're thinking about things that can go wrong, and like this is just kind of, I think, of like a headwind on the whole industry. I think it's
Yeah.
also um you know, we talked about it before with vibe coding stuff, but it just makes me like more worried about vibe coding stuff, or just making sure that when I do, I'm using something that's in an isolated environment, that like can't fuck up my, pictures of my family or important documents on a computer or all that stuff. It's like this is always just going to be on the back of your mind.
Yeah, I just saw a story. I'm gonna butcher some of the details, but effectively, this bad actor had that if you connected to his GitHub, like gave you this virus, and if you tried to disconnect, it wiped your whole computer.
Yeah, like it had a 60-second dead man switch where it was
Yeah.
checking for that file every 60 seconds, and if it didn't see it, it wipes the computer.
So, so be careful out there. I think is the takeaway, but also be careful out there in DeFi and on chain broadly seems to be one of the takeaways here for the near future as well. But then we also had OpenAI release their Daybreak, which is cybersecurity model. Hopefully we can get white hats. My hopium is that white hats will start being able to use these models to get ahead of black hats. Of course, the black hats arguably have more incentives, so there is still a misaligned incentive problem there. But I don't know if you're running security for these big protocols, you still have some pretty strong incentives to make them iron proof. So I'm going to leave on this topic on an optimistic note. Let's talk about a lighter topic for a little bit. A fun new one: Beeple cards.
I thought you were gonna pull up the lighter chart, which is down only. A lighter topic. The price of lighter. It's lighter.
Oh, that was a hilarious segment. Dang it. A seg. I'll have to remember that one for next
Yeah, we
week.
got people cards all over the timeline.
Unbelievable.
If you could press a red button, it kicked 1,000 dudes in the balls, but you got a pack of people cards. How many times are you gonna hit the red button?
A lot of times. A whole lot of times. Because my son's young enough, it's not going to hurt him that bad. And otherwise, I think it'll be okay. So the Node Foundation, I guess, like, would you call it stealth? So you saw it before I did. So they made an announcement that they're going to start. They have some new things on their website.
Yeah, dude.
Oh,
This is such a weird one for me because they tweeted on May 5th, browse official Node merchandise and limited editions, support the foundation while repping the network. And then they had a link to the shop. And that day I clicked it and scrolled through the shop, and I was looking at the hoodie that Stats had, and I was looking at the dad hats, and I saw those cards at the bottom. They might have not even been like added to the cart, but they were in this list. I didn't even click them. I was just like, oh, that's like some in-store stuff. Like I'd never even, for whatever reason, didn't click them. So that was a big fail, and I didn't even think to like go back and check. I was literally just looking at the hoodie because I was like, oh yeah, I saw Stats that pink hoodie.
yeah.
It's like it feels so stupid, but now it's so dumb. It's like, oh, they're like a pack of Pokemon cards. We're listing them on eBay for $500+. We're talking on the timeline about how our kids are gonna like disown us because we made a 50x in 2 days on a pack of cards, and they're gonna be worth like millions of dollars, but we sold all of ours for $500. And it's just like everything I hate about collecting Pokemon cards with like everything I hate about NFTs put into one thing. Like I love Beeple, I love Node, I love what they're trying to do. I just fucking hate society and human psychology. Like the fact that we need to rush to like buy as many of these as we can and then list them to flip and then post them on the timeline to show off. Like it's just, I hope they print a bazillion of them and like they're worthless. Like that's what I hope happens. Um, but we'll see.
The
People
NFT
are
crowd
gonna have
always
their
does
fun with
this.
them for now while they're sold out and hard to get.
The NFT crowd always does this, right? Remember when the Beeple book came out and folks were like mass buying them to flip on like book secondary, and folks were trying to like sell a $15 book for $30 or whatever. I feel like that this always happens, but apparently these are very easy to get. Like you could have gotten up to like 50 packs, maybe more. I don't even know the details on this. They were $10 a piece. Now apparently selling on eBay. There's screenshots that they're selling for 500. I think there's still listings at 500. I think you can buy a 5-pack for 1,500. So that's effectively $300 a pack. So significant markup. And yeah, it looks like the store's not open again until Friday. So there's at least a pause in supply hitting the open market until Friday. So there's a chance these things do, I guess, grind up a bit from here. I've got a lot of questions on this. One, why are we trading these things on eBay? OpenSea. Are you paying attention? Can we start trading physical collectibles on OpenSea? Why not? Like, doesn't this feel like one of the perfect physical items to start opening the door to? Like, I'd much rather be, if these were on OpenSea right now, I think I've bought one. But like, I don't want to go through eBay. This feels like such a hassle. I'm not really an eBay power user. So I feel like a noob going in there versus if these were on OpenSea, it's just a couple clicks. I can use some crypto.
How long until people start printing fake ones and then selling those on eBay? Because that's another thing you get to worry about when you don't have it authenticated on chain. Even shit that shows is eBay authenticated, I've seen people have problems with.
I am curious. Have you seen much on Rarity? Like, do we know is people's plans? Are they just going to sell as many of these as they want, or do you think they're actually going to try to curate it to a degree? Have you seen much chatter on that?
I haven't seen any chatter about that. Okay. No. I literally don't know how the Rarity skews. I don't know what their plans are for that.
My mind's already racing. So we were chatting in the studio.
You're feeling FOMO.
I've got the trading card bug. My son's been starting to collect cards. He's collecting like baseball, some basketball, and we've been buying these Topps Chrome sets. And like, there's some pretty slick cards. And then we'll check secondary, or I'll ask Claude. And some of these, like, they're not all worthless. Like some of them are worth $10, $20. So he's actually pulling some decent stuff. And like now I'm like, all right, well, this is a fun little hobby we have. We're ripping packs, and he loves it. He loves putting them all in the little sleeves. So he's having a good time, but it scratched my itch a little bit to get back into the.
Is he trading any of them with his friends and stuff?
Not yet. Most of his friends are Pokemon.
Okay.
For whatever reason, he hasn't really dove into that.
So, yeah, I mean, might just not fuck with it. Like,
well, I'll tell you. So he started getting basketball cards at the end of all his basketball purchases. So that's why he started caring about basketball cards. And then
is he into the playoffs more because of the cards right now?
Hates watching sports.
Oh,
okay. Zero interest in watching sports.
Playoff basketball hits different. We don't have Pierre here, but I just feel like it's the only time of the year that I can watch basketball and be happy.
Yeah, I'm into it. Well, the first round was great. Second round's been a little.
Yeah, watching the Lakers get swept isn't ideal.
I actually bought some. Well, we'll talk about it. Why not? I made some Minnesota bets to win it all.
Oh.
I felt like their odds were so I got some 90-1.
Ooh.
And you basically you need like an OKC injury or a couple injuries.
Yeah, a couple injuries.
A little bit of injury luck, Hey, it seems like they can beat the Spurs. This series is 2-2.
Yeah.
It feels much closer to.
If Wemby's throwing bows, dude, they could easily beat the Spurs.
They're more like a 2-1 dog, 3-1 dog to win this series, but then 90-1. And I feel like they'll beat whoever comes out of the East. So you basically have to get through the next 2 rounds. So dabbled a little bit. Cannot convince anyone in my family to watch it with me, though. Unfortunately,
Thunder are 63% on Polymarket. That's crazy.
They're almost making it unwatchable, right? Like if they just smash through everyone. I mean, I guess it's cool to see the team that good. They just beat everyone, but it
kind of reminds me of the Warriors from like a decade ago when there was a couple playoffs where it was just like when they had Kevin Durant. It's like, okay, well, they're gonna how the fuck can they lose?
Yeah,
they got Curry, Durant, Clay, Draymond. That's like winning, and I feel like that's where the Thunder are at the last couple of years.
And they're not quite as exciting to watch. It's like at least
no, because they don't have like the superstar flashiness. It's like they just I mean, SGA is like free throw attempt merchant, whatever you want to say. Like he's obviously an amazing player. And then they just work really well together and like everybody can do stuff. So it's like not as fun. Like honestly, watching Chet, I just feel like he's gonna get hurt half the time, and that's kind of fun, but like he doesn't get hurt, which I'm not saying him not getting hurt is not fun. I love Chet, but like dynamically when I watch him, I'm like, dude, how do your legs work? Like they are thinner than my forearm. And you're like 7 foot whatever, and like the one rebound or he like got the ball under the hoop and had LeBron on him, and then like kind of stuttered, got LeBron to jump, and then like dunked it on him. And I was just like watching his legs, thinking like, man, how did they not break? But it's not as fun. And then obviously watching the Spurs is really fun because you got Wemby, and then his surrounding cast is also kind of fun. So, you know, it's not fun. Pistons and Cavs, dude. Why am I watching the Pistons and the Cavs?
East has been total snooze fest. I guess Spurs, OKC next round. If my beloved Timberwolves don't make it, that'll be a fun series. Folks will be hyped for that, and that'll effectively be the
yeah. I mean, I like the Timberwolves. They're 2% on Polymarket, but 90-1 is even better.
Got that over on Eat. So let's pull it back a little bit. I have a question in the chat. Deez, how do you feel regarding Mega? Let's skip Kaido for now. There's not really.
I don't have much feelings around Kaido.
But Mega is I saw Mega today. Oh no. Might lose $1 billion here.
Yeah, I guess the problem with these is like, where's the demand gonna come from? For the token right now. Like what, I say this as someone who's about to be underwater on a bag that's locked until next April. But like, I don't know where the demand for the token's coming from.
I was thinking about where's the sell pressure for the token going to come from, and apparently that was the wrong way to look at it.
Well, the sell pressure comes from all the people who did the raise who didn't get it locked, and the people who got airdrops, fluffle holders. Like, does all that selling beat the buying? I don't know.
I'm trying to think. So when did Mon drop, and when did it really start to rebound? I'm trying to think of like what, if we think it plays out similarly, like what kind of a time frame are we thinking?
So a month at least, closer to 2.
And I think Mon came out in December, right? It was 2020.
Yeah, and it dropped pretty hard.
Maybe it was. I don't think it was here. I think it was closer to like here. So
okay. I'm looking at the I'm looking at your chart. Never mind. I'll bring up the Coinbase chart where it's more of only from when it got listed. So it came out the end of November.
Okay, wow, it did.
November 24th.
All right.
That's when the Coinbase chart starts. And so then it drops pretty hard. Like
basically a full 3-4 months.
Yeah, it went down 64%.
And then March 38th kind of is when a lot of things started bottoming and grinding up from there, and Mon went nearly doubled. So
well, I guess Mega's already down like almost 50% from it is down 50% from the peak in April at the top of those wicks.
Well, now your ICO buyers are just basically getting their money back.
Yeah, that's not great. That's not why you contribute to an ICO, but who knows where it's going to be in April? It could be You wouldn't be surprised either way. If it's down 50% or up 5x, you probably wouldn't be surprised either way.
5x would surprise me. I'm rooting for it, and I still hold Mega. I have held all the Mega from one of my Fluffles, plus our Fluffles vest. So I'm definitely rooting for this one. 5x from here would surprise me. Now we're talking 5 billion.
I mean, that's what it was trading at on the pre-market before during the ICO.
It's crazy.
This is a free 5x, dude. If you just shorted it.
It really was trading at 5 billion. That is wild to see in hindsight. And that was post 1010. I mean, I guess it was still that month before we really started selling off.
Yeah, in hindsight, like it was crazy how long it took us to react to that. We being like the whole industry, and then also me in particular, but like we blew out $20+ billion and like kind of had a dead cat and recovered, and we're like, everything's fine, and then like obviously it wasn't.
I thought it was fine. I was like, okay, this was a little sneeze.
Bitcoin just like
golden bull, baby. We're gonna
123K down to 100K. It was back to 115, and we were back. Like it was fine. And the next thing you know, you blink, it's February, and we're down 50%. Troll. Right?
Yeah, we can talk about troll. I want to talk about pod. But like another theme of this week is these older memes. A lot of them have been starting to come back pretty strong.
What do you think's causing older memes to get attention?
Like the cynic in me thinks it's just all like cabals getting together to do this. I don't really have the answer. I mean, troll did nearly a 10x in 10 days. Went all the way to 140. And like for perspective, Farcoin's only 240. So like this was a kind of in the upper echelon of where any memes are trading. And now it's selling off fairly substantially here. But it's not just that. Like Giga is now up 400% off the bottom. It's going parabolic. You have Useless now making a big run again. It's up from like a lot of these charts look the same. It's up double in the month of May. So there's been some nice action in these older memes, but at the same time,
it's a very select amount, right? Like less than 5 old memes. And then these memes that you mentioned to me are like, yeah, cabal adjacent. Like, I'm going to use the word like decentralized meme. And when I say like something like a decentralized meme, I guess I think of like Pepe and Mog now. Feel pretty decentralized. But like, I don't feel like something like Giga reminds me of something more like Brett than it does, you know, Mog or Pepe. Is that even right? Like, I'm just thinking through it in my head for the first time out loud.
That a smaller group of people would be able to have more of an outsized impact.
Yeah, like the supply is better controlled on something like Useless or Giga versus like Pepe or Mog, where like the supply I think is like legitimately decentralized so much that it's hard to get traction because there's so many people who like sell it if it goes one way.
Yeah, I think that's right. But
Murad.
If you
like SPX is another one where I feel like that is in my head more decentralized.
Sure.
Which that doesn't look like it's doing amazing. It's not going up parabolic. It's up a bit. I guess it's up like 50%. Goblin, what we're making
an interesting one. So yeah, this is the potential OpenAI mascot. You also have like the culture aspect of like goblin mode, which is like I can see myself saying goblin mode. Like if I'm in some trades and if I actually catch some of these parabolic moves, like if we actually start
driving. The goblin brand is so ruined for me. I just think of like the Gary P burgers. Like I think of those goblin spaces in like 2022 at Gary P burgers, and I'm just like, man, who would ever want that to be your brand? Even though I know that's not what probably 90% of people who see that think of.
You have Altman saying they might actually name the next model Goblin. If they do, like it has to like I don't have any of this, so I'm not pumping my back. It has to go higher, right?
I mean,
Or maybe
it,
that's to sell the news. I don't
so
know.
here's in the same line of thinking. Are we still caring about asteroid? Because this thing looks like it's about to fucking break down.
Oh no.
Um, like, we got the market bubble and some pump, which got us back to the top of the range for people to distribute one more time at 180. Do you think that there's support here at 120, or is this piece of shit finally going to break down and die?
I'm still holding.
I didn't mean to say it so. I didn't mean to be so aggressive with it. I forgot that you were. I legitimately
No, it's
forgot that
all
you were
right.
holding some of this. I did not mean to be so. Yeah.
We
Sorry.
have to go flat around bags.
I didn't mean to do that.
The thing about that, my case was always like SpaceX or Elon has to talk about it again. Like you can't just have the one time up front. Like if they never talk about it again, if nothing happens, it's just going to slowly chop down.
This just
And
gives
there
me
hasn't been
a little bit
anything.
of whiplash from the last Elon play I got sold on, which was the Department of Government Efficiency Doge Elon
We
play.
were all in that. Pete even loved that one.
I just have a little bit, sadly, of PTSD there.
Is this? Oh, the ETH one was the one that really went.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing. I quickly looked for it. It's down there. That one on Uniswap, 2 million. Yeah. Oh, we're so early, dude. This was
This
over
was
100. Like, yeah, there it is.
500 to 2 million is not.
I mean, if asteroid
great.
could go up to 500, that would get you out of a couple jams.
So now that's 99.8%, 99.8% drawdown. That's hard to do. 99.6%.
That was the last Elon one where I'm like, oh, he's definitely gonna keep talking about this. Like, and then I think I took like a 50% loss on it and got out above 100 million.
So hopefully that's not what plays out with asteroid though. It's definitely in the realm of outcomes. We have SpaceX IPO next month, so I think that's our near term hoping. If nothing happens from there, if there's no mascot, then we might have.
Well, okay, going back to what we said earlier too, if you are looking for things that aren't consensus top 5 trades and are at a place to buy, like asteroid is at support. I'm not saying it's a good buy. I'm saying if you think it's going to get more attention, like this is an area where you buy it between here and 100. And then you hope that holds, like the 100 mil-ish range holds, and you go back up to 2 and ideally break it. But like if you're bullish on this, this is a time to look at it and buy it, not shit on it. I am not bullish on it, which is why I'm shitting on it. But if you are, this is, time to buy it.
Let's talk about a token that you are a little more bullish.
Pod.
The Dolphins.
So I had no idea what pod was. I still don't fully know what it is, honestly. But like I don't know, Friday? What day was Friday? When was the 9th? Is that Friday? That was Saturday. So I think Friday, the 8th, I read something about pods on Twitter and just completely turned my brain off and didn't register anything I read. And then Saturday, the price was double. And people in group chats are talking about it. And I was like, oh, fuck. Like, I remember I saw that thread yesterday that looked long, and I was like probably holding the baby while scrolling on my phone with one arm and didn't want to read it. So I kept scrolling. So somebody just puts in the chat, like, Airbnb for AI compute.
Love it.
So then I just shit post like quantum resistant private Airbnb for AI compute in the chat. And I'm like, I just got to buy some of this. Like, I was like, I'll throw in like 10 grand just so I don't, get pissed if it does something. And it was doing the thing where it consolidates, kind of like what it's doing right now. But it was something where like, yeah, it made a nice move up, but it was consolidating. So I felt decent punting, a little bit into it rather than just doing nothing. Like buying the parabolic move. And then like I went out for the day with the wife and kids, come back 2 hours later and it's like double. And I'm like, okay. I guess I'm now on the pod show life. So I didn't take out 2x on a double. I don't know what the market cap is either. I think it changed on
It changed again because it was lower yesterday.
So I think the deck screener one's wrong and people are like paying to fuck with it. or like, how people fuck with deck screener.
Mm.
Um, I think it's like 12.6 mil, or that's what it's showing in
That's what I
FOMO right
saw
now.
yesterday. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like 10% ish of the FDV, or like a little under 10. Um, which is like, obviously it's a way different equation. And this is something where I put 10 grand. I didn't even do the research in the tokenomics. Like I literally don't know like how much is emitting. Like I could be in a pool too getting dumped on and just be like completely ignorant to like full fucking disclosure.
Mm.
Um, so I don't know what the emissions are. I'm sure the emissions are for the people who are using like they're basically providing their NVIDIA GPU as compute and then getting compensated for it in emissions. Um, yeah, the caution warning, dude, that's just bullish. That means you're early. When that yeah, that's purely a bullish indicator. When there's a big yellow caution thing, that's like, oh my god, yeah, I gotta buy
Yeah.
it now. Like, we're
If
so
there's no caution warning, you're late.
no, but I mean, you wouldn't be surprised, especially if Bitcoin goes down a little bit, for this to like go down 50%, right? Like, I would not be surprised if after the show I go out for a walk with my daughter and come back and I'm like break even again. Um, I think that the big narrative for this is they developed or worked with like VVV on the latest model they're using. So it's getting a lot of
Mm.
good press because the VVV price is doing so well. People are looking at this and being like, oh, this is like a direct benefit of that. And then, threads are being written about the founder and his history and all that shit's all over Twitter. So like it just has a lot of mind share. Um, if it goes up another like 50%, I'll probably sell half or something and then free roll the rest I have.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's up 6x in 6 days.
yeah, it's tough.
So,
That's like buying Micron or Intel, right? Like it
mhm.
looked a lot better on the 9th when it was consolidating before that latest move up. Um, so I would understand if you don't want to buy it. I'm not telling you to buy it. Definitely not.
Anything else that you're trading these days?
Pokemon cards still. Pokemon card market's still being pretty stupid. Um, Very hard to get this Ascended Heroes shit that I want to rip. So I keep buying sealed stuff and holding it instead of ripping it, which is kind of unfun. It's like not exactly why we're in the hobby. I think I'm gonna go to a card show sometime in the next month. Get my feet wet. Because
Mm.
good friend of the show, Andy, has been at a bunch of card shows working on the monster collection, and has had generally good experiences from what I've talked to him about, so it's been impressive. I think I see a lot of, like, the bad experience clips that go viral on Instagram or Twitter or whatever, but I don't hear the good experiences as much. So I might try to go to one of those. Maybe sell some of my cards too, because I have, like, 900 fucking nice cards, I guess, now that
It's a
I
lot.
don't need. Like, I'm gonna become a vendor on accident because I bought too many cards. Like, that, I think, is how some of these people become vendors. It's like, "Oh, shit, like, I collected over 1,000 cards, and I probably don't need 1,000 cards." Um, so we'll see what happens there, but in terms of crypto stuff, I'm kinda just hanging back, and, I'm gonna hold pods, see what happens. Anything that's interesting out of the AI area, like, I'm always down to punt into.
Mhm.
Um, I need to be early enough. I can't be buying like the Micron and Intel looking charts.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think a lot of folks now looking for pullbacks on some of
Yeah,
these
and other
items.
than that, I would also contemplating trimming some things that look relatively consensus or weak, like we
Mm.
talked about earlier. I don't have enough Zcash that I feel like I should trim it. I kinda just have this moon bag from our last, nice trade over the end of last year. So I don't have enough, I wanna sell it. I actually did problem with having hype staked is, like, you can't act quickly on it, but when it was 44 bucks last week, I did think about, yeah, maybe I should sell, like, 1,000 or 2,000 hype just to, like, replenish a bank account and some stuff, but I didn't do it, and now it's $39, and if I unstake it and have to wait, what's the price gonna be? Is it worth even unstaking it? I don't know. Um, but that's just more so like it's my biggest bag. I'm still up pretty big on it. It's
Mhm.
still like anytime it's over 40 bucks and your cost basis is under 20, it feels nice to, take a little bit off. So I'd be looking more at that. like selling. Like I think prices were a little nice, and I might have got a little too relaxed and didn't sell.
Got a little caught up in the bull momentum. Certainly I did as well. I was kind of spraying longs there for a little bit last week. Pepe, ton. The Pepe chart looked really good, but of course it looks good until it doesn't. Then it's selling off a bit.
I hate that.
Then I made a few downstream trades that we don't need to get into just yet. Added to Zeke, unfortunately, along with Hoffman. So we might have top ticked it together. Just averaging up from a better entry now with a worse entry.
It's hard when things feel like so consensus because you can just tell yourself one and two stories, and in hindsight, both stories are going to make sense anyway. So it's like, it's tricky. You tell yourself, oh, this is going to be the only thing liquidity flows into. It has all the attention. It's so obvious. But then the other thing that's so obvious is like, well, by the time I finally paid attention to it and bought it multiples off the bottom, that was obviously the top. So it's like that double-edged sword of either way this goes, it's going to be so fucking obvious in hindsight. And that's why we like trading, because it's not obvious in the moment and we get to just make a, risk-adjusted bet and see what happens.
Yeah, it's not obvious. And there's a lot of things I feel underexposed to still at the moment. But we will talk more about it next week. I think we went around the horn well here today.
I'll Peter back next week.
Yeah, we'll have Peter back. Excited to catch up with him. We've been a little lighter on the macro chatter, so I want to dig a little deeper in with him now that he'll be back and refreshed. We'll thank all of our listeners for tuning in here today. Dees, thank you. And we'll be back next Tuesday, 12 p.m. Eastern. Till then, have a great week.
Take care, everybody.